Welcome back, Blood Rush Bellowers. I am Lupine Fiasco. This is daily Kayo gameplay, and today we're playing against our old flame, FaB Rising Rebellion. For anyone who is new to the channel, welcome to the jungle. What we do here is review replays of games that I played on the Talishar client days or weeks ago, after enough time has passed that I lose my bias and can more objectively judge the quality of my play. I will talk through turn cycles and give my thoughts on the line I would take now, comparing that to the line I took at the time of recording. We either learn from my mistakes or reinforce good play patterns with the overall goal of tightening and optimizing our gameplay in the future to take down paper events like Pro Quests or Road to Nationals, and most importantly, walk away with that shiny, shiny cardboard. If you would like to check out the list I'm playing here or try it for yourself on Talishar, there is a FaB deck link in the video description below. While you're down there, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. A YouTube subscription is the best free way to support me and to make sure that you see daily Kayo gameplay in your video feed 5 days a week. If you'd like to go above and beyond, then the best paid way to support me is through Patreon, and a Patreon link is also in the video description. A Patreon subscription will get you
Discord
access. At higher tiers, your name will be featured in every DKG video. You'll get bonus DKG content every week, and there are even more benefits to come. Daily Kayo gameplay will always be free 5 days a week, so for those who can afford to support me on Patreon, I truly appreciate it. Let's talk about our sideboard and about the Kayo FaB matchup. I'm back with more We Make Best Berserk gameplay, but we're leaving it in the board to tussle with FaB. He very likely is not sending disruption our way, but getting caught with a hand of wild rides on an Art of War turn is a great way to lose a game. We're looking to outvalue FaB while we look for a Blood Rush Bellow turn. If the average FaB turn sends 13 to 14 damage our way, we can hopefully block around 6 of that and send 8 back. Depending on our might generation, we're likely sending Arsenal destruction effects with awkward breakpoints as well. The hope is to bank enough life that we can survive through FaB's pop-off turn before sending one of our own, keeping in mind that a well-timed Scowling Flesh Bag can generate a ton of defensive value and guarantee that our Command and Conquers and Send Packings have an impact. We are well versed in the Brute FaB matchup from the other side of the table, so let's check it out from over here. We win the die roll. We are putting FaB on the play. We draw into an agile windup, so we're really hoping that FaB is not going to threaten too much damage on his turn. We would love to be able to discard this windup to make an agility before the turn comes back to us. Doesn't look like FaB is going to be able to do all that much damage. We'll block this Soul Bead Strike for 6. If he has a blue and a Razor Reflex, he really gets us, but just choosing to pass the turn instead will let us generate our agility. The hand we draw into is okay for getting use out of this agility. We can send Command and Conquer, then follow up with Bear Fangs. We are threatening 14 points of damage with our Arsenal Destruction effect and making a Might. If we didn't have the agility, I would look at playing Assault and Battery, discarding my Command and Conquer, and arsenaling a Bear Fangs. As it is, we catch FaB with plenty of finishers in hand, so he is going to be able to protect this arsenal. He'll just take 8 from Bear Fangs. We'll make our Might, and the turn comes back to us. Looking at a Brand with Cinderclaw here. Probably not blocking this one. We would like to do blocking. We have our Command and Conquer that we could potentially throw at FaB. We don't really have a way to utilize an agility token on our turn unless we wanted to use Heart and Cross Strap, which is potentially good if FaB arsenals a card. We could discard Windup at the end of his turn, make our agility on our turn. We open up with Wage Agility, bait him into blocking to make his agility token, or at least deny one from us, then use Hardened Crosstrap to play CNC. Outside of that, probably looking to block with a Smash Impact, attack with a Wage Agility on our turn, and Arsenal Command and Conquer. All of this is to say we're not going to block this brand with Cinderclaw. We're going to wait and see what the rest of FaB's turn looks like. Here we get another brand with Cinderclaw. I should probably take this. In my head, what I'm imagining FaB doing is arsenaling this last card in hand. So if I want to get some defensive value out of this hand, I need to block now, which I would do with Smash Instinct. I'm thinking, watching this game again and having talked through how I could use this agility to really punish FaB for setting a card in Arsenal, I should take this 3 points of damage. If FaB follows up with a Snatch or pitching a blue to Searing Emberblade or something, we still have the opportunity to block. At that point, we can really commit Command and Conquer to blocks if we wanted to just throw away Agility and pass. But I don't think blocking this brand with Cinderclaw is correct. I understand why I did it. I understand what the shape of my turn is going to look like. But what this opens the door for FaB to do is pick up and play the Phoenix Flame and get Shuko value. So FaB is going to get 6 points of value from our block, where if we had taken that 3, we could have blocked the Soul Bead Strike with a Command and Conquer and our Apex Bonebreaker. On our turn, we can pitch our blue to Wage Agility for 8, and based on how for 9 even, and based on how FaB blocks, look to pitch our Wind Up for at least Might, if not Agility. So we're taking more damage here and doing less on our turn. This Command and Conquer is going into our arsenal. It's mostly dead based on FaB not having an arsenal, which presents its own problems for FaB. But I think had we waited to block on that turn, or at least recognized that we get value if we don't block, that could have been better for us. But we'll tuck this CNC. We get a ton of value from FaB to block that Wage Agility. Here, E-Strike for 5 Go again, drawing a card, which FaB potentially plays, potentially tucks into Arsenal. Looking at our hand, we have a few ways to convert this. I need to decide whether I'm expecting FaB to Arsenal this card. If I Arsenals this card, then E-Strike, Go again, CNC is really strong. If FaB doesn't Arsenal this card and just plays it, then I have my Wrecker Romp and Apex Bonebreaker to block with. So looking at this hand, we have a few different ways to get value out of it. We can E-Strike, Go again, bottom and Cast Bones and swing big. We could E-Strike, Go again, bottom, Wrecker Romp, Cast Bones. We have a few different ways to do this. So I don't like blocking here. I think we can take this 5. I think we can either block whatever FaB's follow-up is, or we can convert these 4 cards into a meaningful turn. So I don't love this. FaB does attack with the Emberblade. This we don't block. We could block with the Cast Bones and just E-Strike for 7 pass, but I think at this point I really like E-Strike 5 Go again, Cast Bones. But some premature blocking here, which is funny as a FaB player. I always get a kick out of players who block too early and get punished for it, and here I'm doing the same thing. So I definitely need to apply some of that FaB training in these aggro mirrors. We are unfortunately going to miss with Cast Bones and then miss on drawing our Blood Rush Bellow. So the hand we have here is kind of unfortunate. Ronin Renegade for 3. Looking at our hand, I would like to block with something. For my turn, we have the option to send packing if I think FaB is going to Arsenal, or if he doesn't, we can assault and battery, discarding our send packing to beat chest to make an agility. We should not block here, is what I'm getting at. We just got punished for blocking too early, so we really shouldn't do it here. Our life total is high. FaB doesn't have 4 cards. I'm really not concerned about getting killed this turn, even with FaB having Pouncing Links available. So I really like the decision to not block here. I'm not respecting Pouncing Links this turn. If FaB does want to send all this damage my way, if he wants to break Pouncing Links now, he'll put us to maybe 10 and then be done. This Lava Burst for 5 is where I want to block, keeping in mind what I said about Assault and Battery. So what I want to do, unfortunately, these 2 blues in hand are both 5s on the combat chain, so I can't get any kind of Bone Breaker value here. Let's block this with a Pound Town and Scab Skins. We'll cover the 5, we'll keep ourselves at 22, we prevent any kind of Snapdragon Pouncing Link shenanigans. I hate blocking with Assault and Battery here. I don't know what I was thinking, but this is objectively wrong. I think what I was looking at doing was attacking with Send Packing, pitching Pound Town, and then discarding Wind Up to make 2 Might tokens, which I get, but I'm really undervaluing the agility here. Send Packing discarded to make that agility is great if FaB does this and doesn't have an arsenal, but here, having blocked with Assault and Battery, we are locking ourselves into Send Packing, which is no longer good because FaB doesn't have an arsenal. So we'll take this 4 from Tenacity, we'll make the same play of Send Packing, discard Mighty Wind Up. Oh my goodness, this is atrocious. I am not handling this well. I'm not setting myself up for the next turn, which is what I really want to be doing. Send Packing for 11 here is really impressive. It's a lot of damage, but it's just damage. FaB goes to 15, FaB sends some damage back at us. Yes, we have a Blood Rush Bellow, but we really need to make this turn count. And without an agility, we're really counting on drawing one of our 3 Wild Rides, or Pulpings, whatever's in the list, or keeping this E-Strike. We're really putting a lot of pressure on this turn to be good, where on our last turn, had we just blocked a little differently from the start, kept that Assault and Battery, then taken more damage from that Tenacity, sure, we're at 11 here, but we have an agility, and we're putting a lot less pressure on this turn to be good. Also, FaB is at 14. So we're going to open with Blood Rush Bellow. That's really the only thing we can do. It is objectively correct. Drawing into a second Blood Rush Bellow, which is great, drawing into a Sink Blow, which is terrible. And it's terrible because we can't play this Blood Rush Bellow without gambling that we don't discard our Sink Blow. If we discard our Sink Blow, the turn ends and we lose the game. If we had an agility here, this would be so much better for us, because if we had an agility, we could play our Command and Conquer from Arsenal to use these 2 resources, then pitch our Sink Below to Blood Rush Bellow in order to discard our Smash Instinct and draw 2 more cards, which could potentially also not be good. We're really counting on getting a blue in there. But even with 2 reds, we at least have our Hardened Cross Trap. But because we don't have the agility and we don't have Go Again for our Command and Conquer, we need to attack with Claw, which is value lost when we're intending to play a second Blood Rush Bellow in the turn. So we already see how we got punished for not valuing that agility. So we'll send our Claw. 5 with Go again is fine. We're putting FaB to 10. We know that we want to send a Command and Conquer this turn. So we are going to Blood Rush and just hope that we draw well, and we really kind of don't. If Beast Within was a send packing, I would feel a lot better about this hand, but as it is, the most damage we can threaten this turn now is Beast Within for 10. We pitch our blue, we play Beast Within, 5 blocks with his Flamescale Furnace, goes to 1 and kills us with a 5-card Pouncing Lynx turn. So we need to roll Scab Skins, because what we want to have happen is we want to generate a second action point. We want to attack with Beast Within for 10, then we want to Hardened Crosstrap and CNC for 6. We're threatening 16. FaB needs to give us very likely 2 cards from hand to not be dead, maybe even 3, and we're sniping the arsenal, so FaB's return with just 2 cards, even with a Pouncing Lynx as well, is a maximum of 13, which we can survive and then kill FaB. So we gotta roll Scab Skins, which I hate doing. Thankfully, we roll a 4, which is really the bare minimum to win this game. Even a 3 doesn't win because FaB can still just go to 1 and kill us. But we generate our second action point, which is fantastic. We send Beast Within. FaB going to 3 here, playing around Reckless Swing, which I really respect. It does put him in a position where he either needs to give us 3 cards to keep the arsenal or lose the arsenal. We can see he was looking at a Art of War Spreading Flames turn, so correctly anticipating that we needed to do something drastic that turn to not be dead. At this point, drawing 3 blues and a Wage Agility with no agility. We're just blocking here. FaB's turn is going to be 3-3-1. We are going to completely cover the 2 3s. We'll take this 1 from Phoenix Flame. Return with Wage Agility. Really, the wager here doesn't matter. We'll do it because why not? Maybe FaB is running Sigil of Solace and we really punish him for not fully blocking the Wage Agility. But at this point with FaB at 1, the on-hit is death. We draw a Pulping. We're just going to take the 3 from Rising Resentment. We can send E-Strike for 5 Go again. Then Pulping for 6 Dominate and follow up with Claw. I'm pretty skeptical that Pulping doesn't win the game on the spot, but just in case something outrageous happens, we have Claw as the follow-up, and we are going to pick up the win here. Pretty close call, though. The life total really does not accurately reflect how close this game was. We can see that we outvalued FaB pretty heavily throughout turn cycles. It makes sense. We had our big pop-off turn before FaB had his. But really, very close. And if this game showed anything, it is the importance of those agility tokens for Kayo. We have a hard time getting our action points if we aren't getting agility. We know from experience that FaB won't always have the most effective turn cycles, and we did see some of that here, and we see from the end screen that we did outvalue FaB. So converting our entire hand to damage can take advantage of FaB's off turns in a big way. And if we stumbled at all that game, it was from not being able to punish FaB for his smaller turns. 2-3-4-2 looks good. It's fully utilizing FaB's hand and his Shuko trigger, but is a lot less impactful than what we can do. And I think FaB avoiding use of the arsenal was smart, but his power does scale exponentially with his available cards. So if he is not arsenaling, he has smaller turns, and if he has smaller turns, we want agility to convert our hand to damage. As I'm evaluating Kayo and the cards that I'm playing, I'm already considering how I want more agility generation, very likely through Clash. I'm also seeing that Assault and Battery is a fantastic card, and I really need to prioritize getting the Beat Chest effect when I get to keep cards in hand. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you did, be sure to assault and batter that like button. My comments are always open for any questions or feedback. If you haven't already done so, I'd ask again to please subscribe to me on YouTube. It's free, it helps me a lot, but if you do or you don't, I will see you back here tomorrow for more daily Kayo gameplay. Until then, take care.